Hello and welcome. I'm Bert the Stormtrooper, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Funko Pop movie series Ghostbusters, and I love these toys. Now, Funko Pop is not something that I have been collecting. I'm relatively new to these guys. I know that these guys have a huge following, and some people are completists in trying to get every figure and every variation and all that. I'm probably not going to do that. This was just something that we happened to be out shopping, Christmas shopping for my daughter. My wife and I were out, and we went to Hot Topics, and I saw the Ecto sitting there, and I saw the Ecto and I saw the Ninja Turtle van, and I just completely fell in love with them. And I mentioned to her, you know what? If you're going to get me anything for Christmas, get me those guys right there. Get me the Ecto and the Ghostbusters. And so she did. I got the set for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. These guys are awesome for my Ghostbusters shelf. And like I said, I'm not going to go crazy collecting a whole lot of the Funko Pops. I did get the Turtle Van and the Turtles as well. I'll be doing a review on those as well. But, you know, and that's probably about it so far for me. But these guys are a lot of fun. They're really cool. They look awesome on a Ghostbusters shelf. So, yeah, I just wanted to get a big group shot of them real quick. And then I'm going to zoom in and take a look at these guys individually. Taking a look at the Ghostbusters themselves individually. Before we do that, why don't we take a look at the box real quick? I have Egon's box here, and I'll just show off the one box because they're all pretty much the same box. The only thing that's going to change on these guys is going to be the artwork for the figure and obviously the name. So, you know, you've got the little artwork for Egon right there, and you can see it resembles the figure pretty well. You've got Dr. Egon Spengler right there, vinyl figure. It's a tri-language box right there. Not a whole lot on the side here, just the name and again the number. These guys are collectible, so every figure has a specific number assigned to it. Over on the other side, little better, I think, better artwork for it shows you the figure, and it's got the Pop movies series on the top there, and it's got some really cool little artwork in the back where you can kind of see a city, and then it just looks like an explosion of possibly energy or maybe some proton pack going off in the back or something. I don't know. It looks kind of spooky and ghostish, and really cool little artwork there. And then coming around the back, you can see some of the other figures that are available for the Ghostbusters. So you got the Ghostbusters logo up top, 30th anniversary. The main figure, whichever figure you're actually getting in the box, is going to be the figure that you're going to see on the side here, highlighted. But then it's also going to show you all the other figures with their individual numbers. So 104 would be Venkman, 105 is Stance, 106 is Egon, 107 is Winston, 108 is Slimer, and 109 is Stay Puft. Now, this is the Egon that not Egon. This is the Winston that came with the Ecto. I have not seen Winston packed by himself. This leads me to believe that Winston is out there packed on his own, individual. But I haven't seen it yet on any of the stores that we've seen these guys at, or any of the online stuff, anything like that. I haven't really seen him by himself. So just, you know, I don't know if there's going to be a difference with the individually packed Winston and the one that came with the Ecto. So I'm letting you guys know that right now. So that's pretty much it for the box. A little more artwork there, and that's about it for the packaging. So since we looked at this box, we'll take a look at Egon first. These guys are about 3.5 to 4 inches tall, depending on the figures. You can see Winston and Venkman are Winston is the absolute shortest, where Egon is the tallest, you know, just because of the hair. So, yeah, they're about 3.5, 4 inches tall, and these guys are retailing for about $10 to $15, depending on where you get them. Most places you're going to find them for $10, but I've seen them at some, retail stores. You're going to find them for about $10, but I have seen them at, like, say, comic book stores, for example, going for about $15. So it really just depends on where you get them. But they're inexpensive, they're easy to find, and they're easy to collect. So, taking a look at the figures individually, here's Egon, and he's got his, obviously, his glasses, and I love the poofed up hair that they've got on him. It's really cool. You can see the glasses are separate from the face, and they glued them on, and you can see a little bit of the white from apparently they use super glue to glue those on. So I'm going to need to go in there with some alcohol and clean that out, but it just keeps popping up. He's got his radio in his hand, and he's got his PKE meter in his other hand, and I think that is just so cool that he's got his equipment out like that. One thing that I've noticed about Egon if you look at mine, his Ghostbuster symbol on his sleeve is completely sideways. And I thought maybe that was an error on this one, so I went back to the store and I grabbed another one. And these guys are easy to open. They're not taped up or anything like that, so all I did was just kind of pop the lid open and looked in there. And sure enough, the other Egons that they had in the store also had the sideways logo, just like that. So I don't know if that's the case for all the Egons out there, or if there's just a batch in my area that came out like that. When you look at the figure, the artwork on the box, it shows the logo right side up. So I don't know. I don't know if that's all the Egons are like that, or if there's just like a bad lot of them running around in my area. I don't know. If you go out and you get one of these guys and you get a straight symbol, let me know. Go down in the comments. Let me know if you find them with a straight symbol or if they're all coming out crooked. I just don't know. As far as the equipment in the uniform goes, the uniforms are very, very accurate on these guys. He's got his tan jumpsuit with his last name up here, name tag. He's got the LEE or the LCE belt, military style belt with the clip hanging on one side. He's got the gloves hanging on the other, and he's got the jump boots, military style jump boots right there. So very cool. It looks very realistic to. I mean, obviously they're not realistic. Look at these things, but they took a lot of attention to detail into the uniforms and the equipment to make them look like the stuff that you saw in the movie. Taking a look at the proton pack, he has his neutrino wand is actually still attached to his proton pack. And taking a look at that is, guys, I have built 2 proton packs in my lifetime. And I'm here to tell you, these are very accurate. These are very well molded, very accurate. And a lot of attention to detail was put into building these little proton packs for these guys. I'm very, very surprised, pleasantly surprised, and happy with the way those proton packs came out. I'm just eating that up. They just look so good. I really like that. So, enough about Egon. Taking a look at Venkman here. He's got all the same equipment and a uniform. The uniform is going to be the same as all the uniforms are going to be the same. So you've got the tan jumpsuit with the elbow pads, the boots, and the name tag. Now, Venkman here, he is holding his neutrino wand in his hand. You can go around the back here, and you can see his proton pack. It looks exactly like Spengler's did, except he doesn't have the wand attached. He's got his wand in his hand. And it looks to me like possibly Venkman and Winston here have the same mold for the body, and the only thing they changed was the heads and the paint detail for the name tag and for the hands. But these guys look like they possibly have the same mold for the bodies. By the way, the only articulation that you're going to get out of these figures is the heads do rotate. So you do have some head rotation, so you can kind of, make him look to where he's pointing, which is pretty cool. Also with Egon, I didn't show it off, but you do have some head articulation. So you can kind of give him a little bit of emote them just a little bit. Taking a look at Ray's stance here, he is also holding a radio in his hand, but then he's got the ghost trap in the other hand, which is really cool. And again, the ghost trap looks dead on to the ghost trap that was used in the movie. The radios for both him and Egon, those look just like the MTE 500 or 550 radios that they used in the movies. These guys, they put a lot of attention to detail into the equipment and the uniforms for these guys. The proton pack, again, has the neutrino wand already attached to it. And then, of course, he's got his Ecto goggles. And this is probably the one spot where they didn't go exactly accurate. His Ecto goggles in the movie were made from really old model night vision goggles, military night vision goggles. And so they were green. The goggles themselves were green. The straps were OD green. And there was a third strap that came across the top here and met in the back. So, not a big deal, though. I can understand why you would want to keep that out. You've got the hair that you're molding in, and it's really not that important, I don't think. As a Ghostbusters fan and collector myself, I don't think it's really that big of a deal or that important. They look awesome. And the goggles look pretty good, except for the color. Those goggles actually look pretty accurate to what Ray had in the movie. So, again, you can turn his head side to side, and that is about all the articulation you're going to get out of him. And then finally, Winston. Like I said, it looks like his body molding is exactly the same as Venkman's. So he's got his wand in his hand, is the pack with no wand on it. The hoses do move a little bit, especially on the guys that are mounted on the back. You can see that the hose actually moves around a little bit. And it looks like on mine, yep, my Ray hose is actually coming on peg, so I got to go in there and peg that guy in. So just a heads up on that, because I'm literally just now noticing that. I noticed that the hose was wiggling. Yeah, that one popped off, so I got to pop that one back in. It doesn't look like it's too big of a deal. So there you go. There's Winston as well. Now, like I said, this is the Winston that came with the Ecto. So it might seem like I'm kind of rushing through Winston, but I'm not. We're going to take a look at him again when we get to the car. Taking a look at the ghosts, we've got Slimer and Stay Puft here. Now, Slimer, he is going to be a basic figure, just like the Ghostbusters were. So you're going to find this guy for about $10 to $15, again, depending on where you find him. And he's also approximately 4 inches tall. Now, the thing with Slimer here is he's got absolutely no articulation whatsoever. The only thing he's got that would move would have been the arms, and those don't move. Just like none of the arms move on any of these figures. But I really love what they did here. They've actually made him the whole spud. You know, you look at him, he looks like a spud all the way around. And then they've used that slime, just kind of this slime detail dripping off of him and into a pool of slime right below him on the ground. And that's what is being used to kind of levitate him and keep him up. And I really, really love that. It really does give him that feel of him floating or hovering right there behind Venkman. So I really love the way they did that. The detail on this guy is super, super cool. And there's no denying, you can recognize him immediately as Slimer. Taking a look at Stay Puft. Stay Puft here, he is approximately 7 inches tall. And this guy retails for about $15 to $20, depending on where you find him. I've seen this guy at retail stores. Pick one. Just your regular retail stores that actually carry these pop figures. I've seen this guy for $15. I believe, as a matter of fact, we got this guy for $15 at one of the retail stores. But I've seen him at specialty stores and comic book stores and stuff like that for up to $20, usually $20. I think I've seen him up as high as $25. So, you know, just be smart in your shopping. Shop around. You'll be able to find him for a good price. And just like with the other figures, he does have head articulation, and that's about it. So, yeah, pretty cool, but I do love the detail that went into him, the hat with the Stay Puft on there. He's got the little ribbon hanging down. And I just love the expression on his face. He just looks so happy and awesome. I just love that so much. I just think that's so awesome. Detail on this guy is absolutely great. Both of these ghosts, they're absolutely great. And finally, taking a look at the Ecto-1. The Ecto is approximately 8 inches long and about 5 inches tall. This guy is retailing for about $35 to $40, again, depending on where you find him. I found him at retail for about $35, so it's a pretty good price on this guy. And like I mentioned before, he comes with Winston. So if you're planning on getting the whole set like I did here, you don't really have to hunt Winston down because he comes with the Ecto. Again, I don't know if there's any difference between this Winston and the one that actually comes packed by himself. I haven't seen that figure yet. So if you take a look at the bottom of the feet, actually, if you look inside the Ecto, there's 2 pegs right there. And if you look at the bottom of Winston's feet, he's got 2 peg holes that none of the other Ghostbusters share. So at this point, Winston is really the only one that you're going to be able to put in the Ecto and get him to ride. Checking out the details on the Ecto. Now, there is one thing that I was not expecting about the. Like I said, I was not a Funko Pop collector before this, so I wasn't aware of this. Just looking at the vehicle, I made an assumption that turned out to be incorrect, and I was a little disappointed about it, but you know, I quickly got over it. And that's the fact that they don't roll. These vehicles do not roll. I got this one and I got the Ninja Turtle van, neither one of which rolls. These wheels are molded on and they do not roll. And I think that's kind of a shame. I think it could have been pretty easy to actually put a bar in here and made these actual rolling vehicles, and I think that would have really upped the play value of these guys. But as it is, they don't roll, and once I've learned that that was the case with all the vehicles, I quickly got over it. It's a bit of a shame. I wish it would roll, but no big deal. But the Ecto looks awesome. Again, you know, it's kind of that shrunk down style that we've seen with all the other figures, but the detail is all there. You've got the logo on the door there. You've got the red fins. You've got the front. You can tell that is very obviously the 56 Cadillac that was used for the movie. You got the stairs on the side. You've got the hoses on the other side over here. You've got the back door with the logo again, and then you've got the blue light bars on the top, and you've got all the equipment rack up on the top. That is very obviously the equipment rack from the first movie, Ecto. Obviously, we've got the Ghost logo is from the first one. You know, we don't have the stripes like we did in the second movie, and you know, this is the Ecto from the first movie. I'm wondering if they'll do a Funko vehicle for the second movie Ecto. it just occurred to me, if they do, Funko, if you're watching this, if you do an Ecto for the second movie, I'll buy that one too. I will buy both Ectos. So, just letting you know. I don't think it wouldn't be too hard to. You've already got the mold for the car, just a different paint job, and the only thing you have to make new is the rack, is a different rack. So, hey, make a little more money off of that mold. I don't know. Just saying. So, yeah, so there you go. There's the Ecto. Awesome little mold. Really cool. And like I said, you can get Winston in there. You can turn his head. Make him drive. So there you go. There's the Ecto with Winston. Okay, there it is, guys. One last look at the whole set for the Funko Pop movie series Ghostbusters. Really, really awesome set. If you're into the Funko Pop collecting, or if you're into Ghostbusters at all, even if you're not in the Funko Pop but you're into Ghostbusters, these guys are a great addition to any Ghostbusters shelves. These guys are available at several different retail stores right now, as well as on a couple of online stores. So they're relatively easy to find, they're relatively inexpensive, and they're super easy to collect. So there it is. That's going to do it for the Funko Pop movie series Ghostbusters. Please leave me a comment, give me some thumbs up, subscribe and share with your friends if you like what you see, and I'll talk to you next time.